Great Plains.
Present.
Northeast.
Present.
Northwest. Present. Southern Plains.
Present.
Southeast.
Present.
Female co-pres?
Present.
No co-pres.
Present.
All representatives are present.
Youth council roll call.
Moving on to youth council roll call. If I could have one representative from each of your youth councils, please state your name, your position, and your youth council.
My name is Seneca Jackson. I'm an at-large member on the Akimanatan Peepash Youth Council.
Okay, thank you. Next, please.
I'm Caitlin Johnston. I'm from Bishop, California. I'm representing the Bishop Tribal Youth Council, and I'm the president.
Thank you. Next, please.
My name is Dominique Krella. I'm representing the Tohono Nation Youth Council in South Arizona.
Thank you. Next.
My name
Hi,
is Shelby
my
Turtle,
name
and I'm the
is-
president of the Cherokee Nation Tribal Youth from Oklahoma.
Hi, my name is Hilaria Antone. I come from the Tohono Nation, and I am representing the Tohono Nation Youth Council, sitting as the Hickwin District representative.
Unity Peer Guides.
Hi, this is Sonwai Wakiyuta, present. I'll be speaking on for the Unity Peer Guides.
Thank
Should
you.
I?
Hello, this is Natania Topley. I'm also part of the peer guide cohort as the peer guide trainer. So I'm happy to be here to sit in on your meeting. Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Are there any other peer guides with us?
Yes.
Are there any guests?
Hi, I'm Valerie Shangro. I'm with Bowman Performance Consulting. I'm a guest.
Okay.
Kolomosi, I'm Nikki. I'm the B in Bowman Performance Consulting. I'm a guest, and thank you for letting us be here.
Thank you.
I'm Elizabeth Taylor Shiro. I'm also from Bowman Performance Consulting as a guest.
Thank you. Last call for youth councils. Okay. Last call for peer guides. Okay, thank you. And last call for guests. Awesome, thank you. Mr. and Madam Co-Pres, we have a quorum of 6 youth councils present, 3 peer guides present, and 3 guests present.
And then next we'll go on to approval of agenda. Are there any amendments that need to be made to the agenda at this time?
I'm sorry. Let me.
Are you moving up H1? Greg, do you need to move up H1 for our guests or? Yeah. Okay, so at this time, if I can get a motion to approve the agenda while also moving H1 to item D, so we can get our guests in and out of the call. If anyone would like to unmute themselves and make a motion, or one of the reps.
Ira Mosley, make a motion to approve the agenda.
With the amendments given.
Ira Mosley, make the motion to approve the agenda with the amendments given.
Okay, can we get a second?
Colby White Thunder, second.
Oh, okay, so we have a second for Colby White Thunder. Do we have any discussion? Okay, hearing no discussion, we'll vote on the matter. All in favor of, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Same side. And any abstentions? Okay, hearing no abstentions, motion carries unanimously, and we will move to item H1. So now we'll turn it over to our guests to present the youth and youth adult COVID-19 impact study. To Valerie.
Thank you. I'll say a little bit and then I'll turn it over to our CEO, Nikki. But I want to thank you for giving us time on your agenda and for considering adopting this and the resolution. I'm guessing you got background information on the project. Have you seen that? Yes? Okay. So just very quickly, the reason we are participating in the study, we feel the study is important, is because we know that young adults, youth and adults are quickly, are increasingly becoming new COVID cases, and that there's really a shortage of knowledge on this age group, and particularly of Native youth. And without that knowledge, it's tough to develop meaningful prevention and messaging targeting that audience. And so we've joined with others on this project to try to address that gap. And so I'll stop there and ask Nikki if she has anything else she'd like to say.
Sure, and Elizabeth, please jump in if you need to. Kolomosi Nidushinzi Uchiwanu Kanewak. Hi, it's Nikki Bowman. I'm from Lenape and Mohican tribe, and I live in Wisconsin. And I've worked with Unity before on the Wellness Warriors project, sort of behind the scenes as your evaluator. And it made sense to me. In my I own a native business in Wisconsin. We do work all over the country on super important projects where we use research and evaluation to be good medicine, so that Native voices can be present in the work that is done in the way that they see fit, representing to the outside world the way they want it, as well as keeping things close to us and on the inside world. So we are inside the lodge, so to speak, as we say. And so I have I'm Dr. Nikki Bowman, but I just like to be Nikki because I'm sort of resi and a blue collar scholar. That's what I like to be. And I'm a proud auntie. And I'm also straight, female. And I don't know, this COVID-19 study impacts not only our Native communities, but our LGBTQ two-spirit community. And as a woman who's 50, I also don't, I'm young in spirit, but would really like a chance to partner, to be a humble partner with our youth. Our youth are doing amazing things. We take kinship very seriously. We have people from 25 to 73 on our payroll to be good aunties and uncles, and to bring in that youth voice, the next warriors that are coming through. And so we have a partnership with Northwestern University in their their Institute for Sexual and Gender Minority Health and Wellbeing. And we realize this is a COVID-19 study, and we have to get 250 Native youth, 14 to 24, and LGBTQ two-spirit Native youth to participate in this study. It's very safe. I would stake my personal and my company reputation on it. And anybody who sees my social media or has seen my company's work for over 20 years, you know that I'm out here fighting for Indian country and making sure that no one gets to steal our stuff, that we aren't sharing too much. Things that you learn in ceremony and lodge, right, aren't always supposed to be out there. And we would just really like a chance to not only to have this promoted and for you to participate in the study, but we've been working with Mary Kim and Lauren Ashley to see if there are Native youth who might want to take this up as something they're interested in. Our civil rights comes on many fronts. It comes right with our earth justice. It comes with, fighting for our missing, murdered Indigenous women, girls, two-spirit. And it also comes as in research and evaluation. And so we try not to be like, Charlie Brown's teacher, want. I'm probably dating myself. Maybe none of you know who Charlie Brown is, but just wanted to sort of put that out there so you could get a little peek at who we were. We hope to not only work with you on the study, but also to figure out ways that we can, if folks are interested in working on policy about Indigenous data sovereignty and how we protect the work that we do, try to find ways to fund and have an internship so that can be part of your leadership development work. And so and when you make policies to protect data, it can be for your Earth ambassadors, it can be for any topic. And so I'm just here to learn and hopefully create a good partnership, one that's continuing just in another area. Was Wellness Warriors, and hopefully now it'll be this, but we're going to be around. We're not just here just to ask questions now. We'll always be in support and always be around. So that's what I have to say. I don't know if Elizabeth, you have anything you want to add?
Yeah, I think you and Val said it, but we already, want to support Unity regardless of the study. Like we are amazed to see the networking that Unity offers to youth and young adults across the country and being able to provide support to one another. And we would want to support that regardless. But we also think this is a great way to push back against the invisibility that has been pushed upon Indigenous populations and provide an outlet for Indigenous youth to bring their voice back into research. And right now, one of the ways that invisibility is happening is within this COVID-19, the marginalization of Indigenous populations and the impacts of COVID is happening right in front of us every day. You all are seeing it in your communities. And this study is a way for us to make those that data visible again, and be able to show that through the voices of youth. And that's a unique opportunity that's being offered. And we really want Unity Youth to be a part of that. And so we really want this to happen with you all this way, but this is also just like beginning, like Nikki is saying, like we hope that we can also use this as a starting point to work and create partnerships with Unity Youth to work on other initiatives dealing with policy and research and so forth. So hopefully this is just the beginning with you all. So if there are any questions too, definitely open to that.
I have a question. One thing that we've received questions on is if there are roles for both LGBTQ plus and 2+, as well as allies. So could you explain just a little bit more how, like, if you have a heart for this, or even if as an ally, like how they could participate as well?
Yep, absolutely. We're looking for everybody, LGBTQ2+, Two-Spirit plus, to take the survey. And then we also have opportunities for youth and young adults to participate with Northwestern in research roles if they're looking to get experience in that. So if they are looking for that, definitely contact us.
Yeah, and both straight and LGBTQ Two-Spirit are eligible to take the survey, and all of your cousins and brothers and sisters, whoever. We want to make it a contest, you know, by region if we can, and we have some bomb diggity prizes, but we sort of haven't worked all of that out with MKT and LAB. UNITY, I really love that. It's sort of stuck in my head. But just because we were trying to stay out of their hair because it was mid-year conference. So did I forget to mention amazing giveaways and prizes? And we try to go to all native vendors, you know what I'm saying? So really what we invest stays in the circle, keeps the circle strong. And don't let a university scare you. The Dylan and Gregory and Megan at Northwestern University are amazing. Dylan gay male, Gregory gay male and Dylan transgender female. Did I get that right, Elizabeth? See here, Dr. Bowman is humbling herself and learning. But we have really awesome stuff too. Like there's a question on the survey and that we're sort of gonna be looking at. I just say Two-Spirit, but I don't know if that's how our Unity Youth say Two-Spirit. We want to literally hear your voice. So you talk, we're the workers, we write, we show it to you and you go, does this look right? I mean, this could be like a public service campaign. It could be whatever we make it. And Dylan and Gregory and Megan are amazing. They'll let us do literally whatever we want. They're safe, they're vetted, they're scared of Auntie Nikki. No, they're not really scared, but they're good people, allies. And so not only would you get to say, this is how we define ourselves, and it could be done in a ton of different ways. You're going to have data that we can look at. You won't have to work with Northwestern yourself. You'll be working with us, you know, and we'll be making sure that we're working with the, not only the youth leadership, but the leadership, the adult leadership at Unity, so that we're doing it in a good way. And whatever we want to make for inside for Unity just to use, we can, and whatever then would go to, like, when you get a grant, you got to write a report every year to the funder. So the cash keeps flowing. Got to keep that hustle going, right? And so we'll show that to Unity Youth if we can get on your agenda, as well as the board and leadership of Unity, elected and employed adult leadership, so that you'll get to have, it's called member checking, but you'll get to approve everything all along the way. There was one other thing. What's that TikTok thing that you're doing? I'm not a TikToker. I'm old school. I make videos and turn up my radio.
Yeah, so something initially, like right now that we're doing is a TikTok contest for youth and young adults. So if you all watched our video that you put up on your website, we're doing a TikTok contest turning in a video before May 1st. So with the link of the survey, talking a little bit about what the survey is, why you chose to do it, and we're going to choose 10 videos as the winners to get a gift card to an Indigenous owned business. And to enter, you use this hashtag. Put it in the chat box. It's YYA Rad Indigenous Youth. And that you can see on our video that we have in the speed workshop video that we did.
Did it go in the chat?
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
no, something weird happened. Oh, no, my video keeps going weird.
I think it's a pretty cool partnership because Northwestern University is right in Chicago, downtown Chicago, and it's a big deal to have evidence-based. But when we get to be on the front end, upriver as we call it, we get to decide how evidence is made, what evidence goes out there, and you know, things like Unity will be authors on things if they want to be, so that when you're writing for new grants, or if Northwestern and BPC are helping you like to work on different topics to do that, or however, you can say it's evidence-based, you know, and that's really important in terms of what counts in the eyes of, you know, programs and policy makers and that type of stuff. So anyway, it's fun. Like there's so much, I'm sure, coming at you right now, and I'm just super excited to be in this meeting. So.
Thank you. And if anyone, youth or guests, have any questions for Valerie or
Nikki and Elizabeth.
And Elizabeth, sorry.
Hi, I actually have a question. The people at Northwestern that are doing the survey and such, are they Indigenous that are leading the survey?
No.
They are not, and so that is what BPC's role is and why we are contracted with Northwestern. So Northwestern is leading the research project, and then they took on community partners to do research, recruitment and outreach. And so for BPC, we're handling sort of this Indigenous piece of it. And we get to do whatever we want over here in this space with Indigenous youth and young adults. And then there's other partners that they have that are focusing on like Latinx populations and Black populations and things like that, and to inform the larger research projects.
Awesome. Is there anything else you guys have to share with us?
No, I just need to know how this works. Do we then drop off so you all can take a vote and somebody will let us know?
No, you can stay on. We're gonna have our secretary read the resolution in its entirety, and then we'll vote on it.
The National Unity Council Executive Committee, Resolution 0424-2101. Whereas the National Unity Council represents Native American and Alaska Native youth who are members of the 325 affiliated youth councils that operate in 36 states, and whereas the Executive Committee has been elected by the representatives of the National Unity Council to act on its behalf between its yearly business meetings, and whereas the United National Indian Tribal Youth Inc. is committed to promoting the leadership development of Native American youth and Native Alaskan youth. And whereas Unity's mission to foster the spiritual, mental, physical, and social development of American Indian and Alaska Native youth, and whereas the youth shall improve healthy lifestyle choices and actions with the emphasis on personal well-being, holistic approach to health and cultural teachings of healing, whereas the proposed youth and young adult YYA COVID-19 impact studies project is to bring positive change regarding health and wellness in Native America. The National Unity Council supports this initiative and encourages all Unity affiliated youth councils to participate. The project aims to provide the necessary tools for youth to serve as a catalyst through their collective action to bring about awareness regarding cultural community wellness and health related issues by utilizing their cultural teachings to empower others to actively pursue a balanced lifestyle. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the National Unity Council Executive Committee and National Unity Council hereby endorses, supports, and agrees to participate in implementing the proposed youth and young adult COVID impact study project. Mr. President.
Can we get a motion in support of the initiative to approve and adopt?
I, Elijah Langdon, would like to make a motion to set for approve the resolution.
Okay, can we get a second?
I second that.
Second by Zane Fisher. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? And lastly, any abstentions? Okay, motion carries unanimously. Thank you so much. Do you want to find this one, Greg?
Anishik will look for a copy from someone. Thank you. Big thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here.
Bye.
Thank you all.
Bye to our guests.
Bye. Thank you for being here.
And next, we need to approve our minutes from our last business meeting, which is February 15th, 2020 at mid-year. I need to take, I believe. Am I good?
Yeah.
Mid-year minutes. Sure.
The order of minutes at hand are the mid-year business meeting from February 15th, 2020. The meeting was called to order by Brittany McCain at 9:20 Mountain Standard Time PM on February 15th. The opening prayer, Dominica Yazzie, a part of the Page High School Unity Club. Roll call, Secretary Kira Toya, all present with a quorum of 12. An approval of agenda was motioned by Marcelino from the Hachi Yoke. The second was from Tia Smith from the Young River People Council. Motion carries. The readings of minutes from Secretary Toya. Approval of minutes from July 7th, 2019. Motion by Sun Y. Wyakuda. Second, Tia Smith from the Young River People's Council. Motion carried. During that business meeting, we discussed Healing Indigenous Lives Initiative that was presented by the peer guides. The 2020 Executive Committee Initiative, Healing Starts Here, presented by Brittany McCain. Unity Earth Day Resolution, presented by Marco from the Earth Ambassadors. And Protecting Our Sisters Subcommittee was presented by Brittany McCain. With the standing committee is deferred to February 16th. We also discussed input for the National Youth Conference. That was for the reading of minutes. We then moved to the Youth Council reports. We have President Amy from the TO camp, Akimo from the Odom and Piash Youth Council, the Page High School Youth Council, the Shinnecock Youth Council, the Young People River Council, Michigan Youth Council, Action Youth Council, the Pueblo UNK Youth Council, the Stiff Odom Youth Council. We were then motioned to recess until February 16th. The motion was by Sunwine and the second was by Trevor. We then recessed at 10:30 a.m. The national business meeting at 10:30 on February 16th. It was called to order at 10:49 a.m. The meeting then reconvened. Opening prayer was by Elijah Landon. Roll call was from Secretary Toya. We then moved on from roll call with hearing start here. It was motioned by Isaiah Fisher and seconded by Tegan Smith. Motion carried unanimously. Earth Day, Unity Earth Day resolutions was motioned by Sage Lacapa, seconded by Neotosha from the Shinnecock. Motion carried with an abstentions of Marco, Hope, and one other. Pure Guides Initiative resolution was motioned by Amy Teo with the second of Trevor Yazzie. Motion carried unanimously. We then moved along to area representative reports. After the reports, we skip back to the standing committees and then moved to open discussions or announcements with three open discussions. Next, we moved to the national conference suggestions where we had a lot of great conversation about everything. And then we moved to adjournment with the motion by Jennifer Yazzie and a second by Trevor Yazzie. Motion carried unanimously and the meeting was adjourned at 11:59 a.m. Mr. Co-President.
Okay, thank you. Can we get a motion to approve the minutes as read?
I move to approve the minutes.
Thank you. Can we get a second?
I will mostly approve, second motion.
Get a second. Any discussion? Can't hear your discussion. All in favor of, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Same side. Any abstentions? Okay, motion to approve the minutes carries. So now move on to old business. We're now at F1 on the agenda. We need to declare some vacancies in the regions, positions that were not filled for this term, the second term of this youth council, or executive committee, sorry. So we have vacancies in the Midwest region, Pacific region, Rocky Mountain region, Southwest region, and Western region. We recently posted the applications on April 19th, and they will be able until April 30th at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And so hopefully if you're in New York from those regions, you can apply, and we can appoint you to be on the EC from like May 1st until the national conference. And now we'll move on to new business. Area representative reports. And we'll start with Great Plains Rep Elijah Landon.
In my region, not much happened this year due to COVID-19. I know my youth council went inactive due to COVID-19. Although I've heard a couple things about like 1 or 2 new chapters being started in Standing Rock Nation, which was pretty good. We had our Senate Bill 2304 getting passed, which was major in my region. Otherwise, nothing too major happened this year due to COVID and lockdown.
Okay, thank you, Elijah. Next, we'll have Northeast Representative William Mosley.
During my term, pretty much during COVID and everything, I've been doing a little bit of regional outreach, just checking up on people. I've done the Unity regional meetups, applied for the Unity regional mini grant, which is pretty much a project that will be used towards my region and do whatever I want to do with that project. I helped conduct a virtual powwow with the University of Pennsylvania. And lastly, I've been doing a documentary for my tribe for our tribal history and art that I'm doing right now. I've been in production since around January, February, and I'm still shooting now. My deadline's around June. So you'll see the final product around that time. And that's been pretty much it.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mosley. Next, we have a report from our Northwest Representative Isaiah Fisher.
With my area report, I first would like to start out with, if you are from the Northwest and you're on this, in this business meeting, it'd be greatly appreciated if I could get an updated contact from you guys and from your youth council. I have a majority of the youth council contacts that are now inactive. It could be due to everyone being shut down because of COVID. But mostly I have had a few issues contacting some people. Moving on with that, I haven't really been doing much within my own, within our region. Everything has really been shut down for the time being. I know our tribe is back on being shut down in Grand Ronde. Our state of Oregon, and my part of my state is currently shut down. I just got the notification a half hour ago that my work has been suspended. Our shop is now closed for 2 weeks. I was able to host our regional meetup, which was virtual, from my house, which was really fun. I really enjoyed seeing and hearing some of your guys' voices. Other than that, I haven't really been able to travel around like normal, go places in the Northwest, be able to visit everyone. So that really concludes my report.
Thank you. Next, we have our Southern Plains Representative, Colby White Thunder.
From our area report, I, much as the rest of this EC, have not been able to do much in my own region due to everything being shut down. I have been in contact with my own tribe and a couple other youth councils. My been inactive. We lost our advisor due to retirement. Other than that, I joined and helped with the regional meetup as well as the Western regional meetup for a little bit. And that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Colby. Next, we have our Southeast Representative, Caden McGee.
So, just kind of like everyone else, haven't really been able to travel or do much. And I missed a couple calls towards the beginning due to work, because that's mainly all I've been doing is work and school. But yeah, I wish I could be there with you guys. But that's really it. Haven't been able to do much because we're still not able to travel here.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for joining us virtually, to both of you. And next we have co-president reports. Kira, did you go first?
Yes. Like what Will was saying, we Unity was able to fund for our projects. Sorry, just so I will be doing, or I will be conducting a series of little Zoom meetings and talking circles and crafts circled around the I Will Live campaign. And within my region, or with Unity, I've attended all the virtual meetups that we had recently, and I hosted the Southeast, Pacific, Rocky Mountains, and we haven't done the Southwest yet, but that will be done as soon as possible. What else? I am also getting ready for a celebration for Secretary Deb Haaland, and that will be in either May or June. So I'm working with the governors in New Mexico. So we are doing that. And there's something else. Scotty and I are also having a White House listening session with Pani Rivera that you might have saw from the first day of the conference. So we will be on that call on Monday with NCAI and CNAY. So then,
Okay, thank you. My turn. So I'm a student. I go to school still. I also work with my parents' business. And then also I've been helping recently at the community garden with natural foods and presentations. Like we've done one for the Seattle Cancer Care Alliance. And then we also do a community food stand every Wednesday. So that's pretty fun. And then also recently I met with the Quinault Youth and Advisor, and they kind of miss Unity because their potlatch they have every year is the 4th of July. So we were to come to the last couple of Unities. But I told them, I believe the one after Dallas will be later out. So hopefully they can come again or come to the next mid-year. And also I met with their president, who is also the NCAI president, and she wants to be involved with Unities in some shape or way for the national conference or even just a collab whenever. And then also I worked, Unity appointed me to go to the Get Out the Vote for the Biden campaign. And so that was fun to speak and listen to one of his campaign managers. And then like Kira said, we did some regional meetups, and her and I co-chaired the Pacific region and the Rocky Mountain region. And so I was really good to talk to the youth. And then we're also working on the I Will Live campaign right now. I've worked on a tribal senate campaign. I'm also coaching volleyball right now. I had to take a little week off to come here. And then I also gave feedback for the new Unity website. Hopefully that'll be going up soon. I also participated in the strategic planning for the next 3 to 5 years of the organization. And Unity's been gracious enough to grant us many grants. And for that, I plan to invest the money back into my community and put it at the community garden. And I'm going to build a butterfly garden. So hopefully if you ever make it up to Swinomish or Washington, you can come see my butterfly garden. That's it for me. And then next we have our peer guides to present us the Healing Indigenous Lives Initiative.
Hi, thanks for having us. This is Sonwai Wakiuta. I am a peer guide. I'll be presenting here today. I think where we last left off in all of our chaos in the middle of COVID was last year we were approved for the Healing Indigenous Lives Initiative, and with that we had planned to have regional meetups in all of the different regions across Indian country. But pandemic hit and all of us just kind of had to adjust to virtual arrangements, and then that just kind of began the whole series of webinars. We had the Inspire Hope series that was released last year in April. Then we had like the Culture is Prevention that was released too. Then in May, which was supposed to be our first regional meetup, but that didn't happen. We ended up doing the virtual gathering instead. And with our virtual gathering, all of our peer guides were just kind of asked to record ourselves and give a little bit of our opinion intake of what's been going on. And then we had an agenda that was supposed to be going up, and we did a lot of webinars have been posted to the Unity page. And in June was kind of quiet because everybody was just kind of like preparing for the first nationals virtual conference, which was released in July. And then that one was kind of tedious. It was like a 3-part series. So we were all just kind of like burned out from Zoom and webinars. And not to mention every month we kind of try to have like monthly meetings, and sometimes our groups kind of coincide. So monthly meetings with peer guides will end up going to EC or the 25 under 25 meetings. And it's a lot of like mixing and mixing with the youth. But we did that. We had our webinar series, and then in fall we released our fall series, and that one was really cool because we actually worked with all of the peer guides where we taught people how to host a virtual event, and we talked about building community support, and then we had the suicide prevention, and just a lot of stuff's been going on with the way we adapted to virtual online. And I think now in the beginning of this year, we've just kind of been behind the spotlight, the peer guides, because we've been preparing our finalized reports and sending out surveys. We had the NAYES survey, NAYES, that was released a while ago, and we were collecting data from that and just trying to make sure that what we were doing on the webinar was just kind of like helping out in Indian country and giving our youth that type of hope and solutions to different opportunities. You know, I think that's in most of what we've been doing with the peer guides. I don't know if Natani's still on and if he kind of wants to add on, but thank you.
Yeah, thank you for being here. And I guess I have some webinars coming up next month. I'm excited to watch them. Natani or Lauren Ashley?
Sure. I'd be happy to speak a little. Sunlight covered a good part of it with the Healing Indigenous Lives initiative. We've done our best to adapt to the circumstances given the pandemic, meaning that a lot of our programming and our goals have unfortunately remained the same, but we've just translated all of our content to fit an online format through our webinars or live discussions. So we've been continuing to try to do outreach across our social media platforms, but also trying to get people to register when we want to do data collection or try to engage with or target specific regions intentionally. The last webinar I personally held, or live discussion, it was a 2-part one where we had it on Instagram, on Facebook, and it was on being a good relative. And that's a part of our healing work for our communities. That's one of the goals of our project. And right now, our latest data collection effort is through the Native American Youth Experiences Survey, which is the NAYES survey that Sunway had mentioned. So we're really hoping to push that. Aside from that, I think one thing new that wasn't mentioned already is at the last national conference in 2019, where we're all together in Florida, we were doing the peer guide survey, if you remember at that time, asking people, we're going around with iPads asking people to fill out the survey. And one big takeaway from that survey is we were trying to understand some of the impacts amongst youth from my tribal communities that the juvenile justice system has for our Native youth. And one of the big talking points from that is that 76% of Unity Youth Conference attendees felt they had been affected by the juvenile justice system, whether it was themselves, someone they know, like a friend, or someone in their family. And this all goes back to the work that we're doing, because our Healing Indigenous Lives initiative comes as a follow-up to the last project that you might remember the name, Today's Native Leaders. That comes from, that's funded from the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention. So we partner with them, and they are very familiar with our work as well, because a lot of our content, our marketing materials, our outreach efforts, it's approved by them, but it's also done in collaboration with them. So if there's something that they're seeking that would, whether it's like through data collection or hosting these conversations online, if there's some goal that they have in mind, we try to tailor it to fit the needs of our Unity youth and to fit the scope of work that Unity tries to fulfill. I believe that was also when I mentioned the 76% of Native youth were impacted by the juvenile justice system. Thanks, Lauren Ashley, for chiming in. She said that also added to the top 10 issue for the first time in 2020. Aside from that, aside from the things I had mentioned, I believe we do have our monthly meeting coming up again here in the first half of May. So at that time, when we regroup ourselves as a cohort, we'll be talking about what's next over these next few months. But we are planning to be present at the national conference in Dallas, so we look forward to seeing you all there. And on a personal note, I just want to thank the executive committee for including us on their agenda and congratulate you on hosting a successful mid-year conference. I just hope that you feel that the Peer Guide cohort is also here to support you all and to serve as a partner in getting the word out to achieve your goals as well, or to participate or chime in. Really what I'm trying to say is that we're here to be a partner and here to be a resource as well, even though we have our own scope of work, and we understand that you guys have your place too. But I think by working together, we can really make a lot happen for the Unity Network. So thank you.
Thank you. Have you guys on our meetings or their joint, like the regional meetups? Like that's always so fun. And does Lauren actually want to add anything or as a Peer Guide advisor representative?
Yes, I just want to say thank you so much to the EC for being such a great partner with the Peer Guides, as Natani and our two representatives has said. I also just wanted to include, we have a webinar series coming up in May, and that is a year's work worth of the Peer Guides. Basically, they have broken down what should be a 2-day training for these regional meetups into a webinar series for the entire month of May. So every Thursday for the month of May, we will be offering these workshops to all Native youth, and they have different topics. And it will go from each of the 12 peer guides have actually been broken down into small groups where they are developing these trainings themselves and working closely with Unity trainers who have been coaching them on their facilitation skills. So for example, the first one was the town hall findings. We actually are collecting Unity's youth's feedback and then offering this report to the government saying like, we've talked to all of these youth councils and this is what we're facing. So it's a big deal in our partnership to do an official juvenile justice report that will be sent out to a lot of non-Native communities as well. The second one is really teaching youth how to determine their top issues around community needs. And that's really where the launch of the Native American Youth Experience Survey, or NAES, that our EC helped us name, will be really kicked off, and that collection will be talked about then. The next one is on asset mapping for change agents. So really, we don't want to just talk about our community needs. We want to help people brainstorm solutions and to share amongst the regions what are these key findings and what is helping you guys make it through. And then there's another one on personal growth and cultural teachings to address trauma. I think a lot of times we talk about trauma, but to help people be grounded in their cultural teachings that help them overcome and be resilient through anything. A lot of, like Natani referred to, if 76% of all of our conference attendees are experiencing trauma, we should be able to talk about it and have the right tools. So it's not triggering, it's not a sad experience, but we can move the conversation to resilience. So the last webinar on June 3rd is creating awareness campaigns. It's because we want youth to be able to have all the tools that they take in. Now you know all the problems, you know how to address it, and we want you to create awareness campaigns to be an advocate in your community. So again, absolutely everyone is invited to attend these, even anyone, adults, youth, children, anybody is open to these. So thank you for your time, and we appreciate everything.
Yes, thank you guys for being here. And so with that, we'll move on to youth council reports. And we ask that you guys keep it to a minute or less. If you want to give a report.
Hello, good evening. My name's Seneca Jackson. Like I said, I'm representing the Akimarotham Peepash Youth Council in Gila River. Since the pandemic, we transitioned to virtual, as I believe most youth councils have. And we, okay, so we hosted our annual youth conference last year in, I believe it was June, and we are currently planning on hosting our second virtual youth conference this year, which I'm a co-chair for that. And we also got new members last fall. It's like a whole new youth council right now. We have a lot of new members, and we've been doing workshops, beading, painting, just things like hobbies type workshops. And we did a series of a youth mind space. So we talked about mental health, and we did cahoots during that. It was a really good turnout, and I believe we're starting a second series. Not sure what the topic will be. But so far, we did do a youth vote during last fall. That was a good turnout as well, but that's pretty much all we've been doing is workshops and trying to keep youth busy and focusing on their mental health as well. So thank you.
Thanks so much for sharing. Is there anyone else?
Hello, my name is Taylor Anton. I sit on the Tanatam Nation Youth Council as the Hikwan District representative. So for the Tanatam Nation Youth Council, last year we did have to transition into a virtual space doing our monthly meetings. And we actually were able to process and go through the process of getting a Facebook page. So we now have a Facebook page for the Tanatam Nation Youth Council. So you can go onto Facebook and search up Tanatam Nation Youth Council, and you can see different events that we did before COVID, and then virtual events that we're doing now. And we actually got new members this early this year. So we do have new members for each of the 11 districts. And also for the month of May, we're going to be doing a running challenge. So it'll be from the first day of May, the 1st, all the way to the end of May. So we're going to be doing a running challenge. And so incentives will be given out to participants who do participate and sign up. So that's something that is one of the big events that we'll be doing virtually holding. So that's pretty much it for us. We do hold our monthly meeting, so that's pretty much what we're doing. We're still trying to get different things to do, such as like our annual events that we usually do, but those are pretty much what we're doing now. So thank you.
Thank you.
So this is Shelby Turtle with Cherokee Nation Tribal Youth Council. And the 2019-20 Tribal Youth Council started work on a coloring activity book that would be with traditional Cherokee recipes with, and then also a modern flair to those recipes as well. And we're happy to report that COVID slowed us down on that process, but the book is finally finished. And each of the 17 members submitted a recipe. And then it was a collaboration with our language department and the public health department. Everybody was instrumental in completing this booklet. And the recipes are in our Cherokee language phonetically, and then our syllabary, and then also in English. So, and it's traditional foods, but then also modern foods with some of the traditional ingredients. So that's a really neat thing that we're getting ready to start distributing to our schools and to our citizens. There'll be an online electronic version as well for people to download. So we're really excited about that. Other than that, due to the pandemic, we haven't been able to do a lot, but we did manage to do our Valentine's for Vets that we always do. And we added a group this year. So we did Valentine's for all of our health professionals. So we're on a travel ban. We're still not able to meet in person yet due to COVID. So we're just doing what we can where we can. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who'd like to share? If not, I believe we can wrap that up and move on to the I Will Live campaign. And so me and Carol take over that. And this year, we think now people need it the most. We want to focus on better mental health resources and awareness for the youth, and also continuing the I Will Live campaign for suicide prevention. That was a great campaign. I think it was introduced around 2015 or 16. And we just want to keep our programs going at Unity. So reestablishing that and adding our own little flair to it.
And I think for that, we, at least some of us want to focus around having our projects around the I Will Live campaign. And so, like I said earlier, I was hosting like talking circles or like little events, maybe with the Unity trainers and and like having different like arts and crafts to do workshops. And there's a lot of other things, but we each have our own way to go back to the I Will Live campaign, because I think mental health is really important, especially during a pandemic. And I know each and every one of us have gone through something, and it's been like a roller coaster ride. And so I think this is really important to focus on, especially now.
Yeah, if any of the reps want to join in.
Nothing.
So yeah, like what they were saying, I think it's a great opportunity to bring back the I Will Live campaign especially when any country has been impacted like pretty severely. So I think this is a good time to focus with the I Live campaign.
We can move on for that. We'll return to that when we vote to pass our Our Live initiative. And so I'll go into National Unity Conference Planning.
We just wanted to discuss with the NUCC any suggestions of workshops, speakers, different themes. We just want to hear from you at this point. You can just shout out, unmute,
Or type in the chat.
Put in the chat.
Speakers.
So this conference is your guys' conference. This is our conference as well. We want to hear your guys' thoughts. We want to know what you guys think about this. We want to know who you guys want to see. We can try our best to get everyone you guys want. Theme's a big one. I know I've been coming since Denver, Unity Denver, and that was my first Unity. I know when I first came, I wasn't really expecting what I was going to see at Unity Denver. I know I had the opportunity to meet the current EC during Unity Denver. Really, I got to ask them all the questions I wanted, like how do you guys make your themes and everything? And they told me that they get it from us, everyone who attends, all the attendees. So I really enjoy hearing your guys' feedback on what you guys want to see, what you guys want to hear. I love being able to include your guys' thoughts. So just throw it our way. We'd love to hear what you guys have.
Plus, any concerns, feel free to put in the chat if you have any concerns about the conference or any suggestions. Those are welcome.
So in the chat, I think Scotty's Fawn Sharp
I've sent to you.
and Chris James from the NCAIED that we saw in the first day, I believe. Oh, we also mentioned the First Lady. It would be awesome to see her at Unity. And then anyone else have
Maybe
any
even
suggestions?
former president and first lady, because they'll be in the Dallas area, I believe.
Wait, who? Former lady first president?
Sorry.
Wait, what was it? What
Awkward
did
with
I
the
say?
earpiece
It's been a long day.
The Bushes.
Yeah, the Bushes live in Dallas, so.
Oh.
Laura.
Bushes.
and
I just put bushes.
George.
Bushes.
If you guys can't really think of anything, you can feel free to reach out to any one of us.
Yeah, then you can also email anybody at the
Yeah.
office or us, and we can forward the ideas. We can move on from that so we can wrap this up soon.
Yeah, remember that we're putting this on for you guys. So your thoughts are greatly appreciated.
We can move on to item H2, the I Will Live initiative, which we just recently talked about, and then I think we'll have Kara post it and Isaiah will read it off in its entirety.
So am I going back over these?
Hold on, sorry.
This one is for the I Will Live initiative. The National Unity Council Executive Committee Resolution 04-24-2102. Whereas the National Unity Council represents Native American and Alaska Native youth who are members of 325 affiliated youth councils that operate in 36 states. And whereas the executive committee has been elected by the representative of the National Unity Council to act on its behalf between its yearly meetings. And whereas the Unity Inc. is committed to promoting the leadership and development of Native American and Alaskan Native youth. And whereas Unity's mission to foster the spiritual, mental, physical, and social development of American Indian and Alaskan Native youth. And whereas the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention reports that suicide rates are high among all Native American and Alaskan Native populations, with the youth being mostly affected. 40% of all Native suicides involve children and youth ages of 15 to 24. And in Native communities, youth suicide contagion is common, where one suicide may trigger other attempts, resulting in multiple suicides or attempts within a short time frame. And whereas these shall improve healthy lifestyle choices, actions with an emphasis on personal well-being and a holistic approach to health and cultural teachings of healing. And whereas the I Will Live initiative, in an effort to bring further attention to the suicide epidemic in the midst of a global pandemic. The National Unity Council supports this initiative and strongly encourages all Unity affiliated youth councils to share updated resources with their communities. The reaffirmation of this initiative will inspire collective action to bring about wellness and mental health cultural teachings to empower others to actively pursue a balanced lifestyle. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the National Unity Executive Committee and National Unity Council hereby reaffirms, endorses, supports, and agrees to participate in implementing the proposed I Will Live initiative. Thank you, Mr. and Madam Co-President.
Can we get a motion to approve and adopt the initiative?
I move to adopt this initiative.
Can we get a second?
Elijah Landon, second.
And is there any discussion about this resolution? Okay, hearing no discussion, all in favor of say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same side. And any abstentions? Okay, motion carries unanimously. Thank you, guys. This means a lot to us. And so I'll move us to item I, open discussion. If anybody has any open discussion.
This is Natani. I had a question. Hopefully, you all can elaborate on. And it's regarding the vacancies for the executive committee. Could you explain how that came to be with the number of vacancies that are that currently exist? Just because I have youth in mind that would be good for a position, you know, depending on which region they're in. But could you explain again how we came to this point and the application and the application process to get someone involved?
At the end of the last term, we applied and some were approved by the trustees to be reappointed and some were not. And then we also had somebody resign. So we now have 5 open spots and you can find the application on the Unity website. It should be pretty short and simple, and then we'll discuss amongst ourselves, the office and the trustees, and then appoint people in those 5 positions. And I can say the regions again if you want.
Midwest, Pacific, Rocky Mountain, Southwest, and Western. I could post a link in the chat right now.
Yeah, they'll be open until April 30th at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard.
Oh, I think when Ashley did. Yes.
Thank you. And then this is to finish up the current term correct, but I'm also wondering when you'll have the application open for youth to apply for the 2021-22 term.
Yeah, perfect. I heard it in my announcement. So that'll open up on May 5th.
And will be
Okay.
closed on June,
Should be June 5th,
June 5th.
a month before the business meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Or sorry, June 2nd.
30 days before the conference.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lauren Ashley. for
And then that
putting in the
also
links.
covers my announcements. If anybody else has any announcements, you can say them now or put them in the chat. Okay, I think if that's it, we can get a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
We have a motion on the floor. Any second?
I second that.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, motion carries and meeting comes to a close at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard.
Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's
We hope
nice
to see you
seeing all
guys in
of
Dallas,
you.
Texas.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeehaw.
Bye, guys. Have a wonderful day.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, Seneca.
Bye,
Thank
Seneca.
you.
See you. Miss you.
Miss you guys.
Thank you, Tony.
Nobody says yeehaw in Texas.
What is that?